Let's do this. Let's do this.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Go, baby. Now we gotta go.
Ready to roll.
Go, boys.
Y'all ready?
When EA decided that they weren't going to port their sports games over to the Sega Dreamcast, Sega decided to take matters into their own hands and create a competing game for each sport, and 2K Sports was born. The first 2K sports game, NFL 2K, was exceptional. While Madden and other competitors were still on the last generation PlayStation and Nintendo 64, NFL 2K was the first NFL game on a next-gen console, and when compared directly to Madden 2000, it's not even a fair fight. NFL 2K was the most advanced, best looking, and best playing football game ever made at that point in time. But then EA released Madden NFL 2001 on the PS2, a more powerful next-gen console, and it had the most advanced graphics of any NFL game ever at that point in time. NFL 2K1 had released just a month before. Still exclusively on the Dreamcast, 2K1 wasn't as visually impressive as Madden 01, but it took what made NFL 2K so great and built upon that foundation. NFL 2K didn't have a franchise mode, so they added one for 2K1. The first game did not have online play, so they added it with 2K1. They added a lot of new features while refining and improving everything else, creating a fantastic base for future NFL 2K titles. When NFL 2K2 released on the PlayStation 2, the playing field became even, and an iconic 4-year duel between EA and 2K began. We already know how that ended, but if it wasn't for 2K1's improvements, the series may not have lasted as long as it did. Without NFL 2K1, ESPN NFL 2K5 might not have been such a legendary game. Let's go back in time and take a look at this underrated title that was a huge step forward for the NFL 2K series. Gameplay received significant changes, helping the game become more of a true simulation. Like Madden 01, 2K1 now focused more on real-time physics rather than on pre-canned animations. Sega actually motion captured over 2,000 animations for this game using real NFL players. So now a player's weight, height, speed, and the angle of impact all played a factor in how a tackle would look or if it would be effective. Unlike in the original NFL 2K, you could now break tackles and bounce off defenders, making guys miss all the way to the end zone. The new motion captured animations made those big runs look epic, and sacks, catches, and blocking all look much better to the eye thanks to those physics. You could even enable maximum passing before starting a game, which would allow you to manually aim where your quarterback would throw the ball with your left stick, so you could throw players open. An underrated part of a sports game is overall responsiveness. In Madden 24, for example, I often get frustrated at menu delay, or being forced to watch a player celebrate with no possible way to skip to play selection. In NFL 2K1, everything is incredibly snappy, from the menus to the gameplay. Choosing a play is immediate, pushing the A button will make everyone hurry to the line, and after a play you can immediately skip over any celebration or player reaction with a simple button tap. It's very refreshing to play something so immediate and responsive. The AI took steps forward in this game as well. If you try running the same play multiple times, the defense will recognize your patterns and shut it down. You really have to think when play calling, and cheesing the game isn't easy. Look at this run by Fred Taylor. The way he hurdles jukes and continues to avoid defenders and make his way down the field is really impressive for an AI-controlled player. The CPU was intelligent. Remember, this game is about to be 24 years old. Has there really been 24 years of progress in the football video game landscape? Because this doesn't feel that far off. The new physics really helped this game feel like a major improvement from NFL 2K. There are some huge hits that can take place, hits that would not be legal in the modern NFL, and they simply look natural. The overall polish of the gameplay is just phenomenal. Presentation took a step forward as well. The new scoreboard and overlays are reminiscent of the late 90s and early 2000s CBS broadcasts. The commentary duo of Dan Stevens and Peter O'Keefe is great as always, with more lines than before. Some of these lines are great, such as this one here.
Pass again. Gets it off. Caught at the 32. And he'll have the first. Great play on a very long third down.
The Giants have all sorts of holes downfield. This secondary is leaving gaps that are impossible to coach.
You know, there's a little debate going on the sidelines between the coach and the defensive coordinator, to no one's surprise.
Well, that's more of a chewing out than a debate.
Tamura was the intended receiver, incomplete.
It's almost strange at first to hear coordinators mentioned in a football video game. This level of detail is impressive. After penalties, the ref will announce the flag to the crowd gets loud and chants depending on the situation, and there is actually a lot to customize here. For example, you can set the weather before an exhibition game, but instead of just picking a preset for snow or rain, you get to manually set everything, from the temperature to the precipitation intensity to the fog intensity and more. You can have a game with light snow, a decent amount of snow, or a full-blown snowstorm. I love that. There was also a strong variety of camera angles to choose from. Close, standard, far, ISO, cinematic, side, top, and blimp. 2K1 also included field degradation, so as a game goes on, the grass field starts to show more dirt. Of course, this doesn't apply to turf fields. Helmets are also reflective now, using real-time rendering. Visually, this game is similar to the previous title, but these small improvements help more than they might seem. The same game modes are still there from NFL 2K, including Create a Team. Franchise mode was a new addition, however, and 2K nailed it with their first try. It's better than Madden 2001's franchise mode. During the season, you can view Pro Bowl voting, view specifically how rookies have performed, see injury status around the league, and more. All the stats are there and easy to quickly find. There is a news tab with weekly headlines for trades and big moves. You can actually play the Pro Bowl, and there's a useful and nice-looking playoff tree. The offseason starts with retirement showing you who's leaving your franchise, and re-signing is pretty intuitive. The game auto-creates deals your players will like. You can go and edit them individually, and then submit the offer and hope it's accepted. If it isn't, that player is heading to free agency. Scouting during the offseason changes from players in the league to college prospects. You can now click to view a prospect's player card to see all their attributes and other information. Any new signings or trades will show up under the news tab during these weeks. The NFL Draft shows a team's helmet design and lets you choose between the pool of players, and when viewing a position, the top screen will show you your current roster, while the bottom screen shows rookies to help fill your team needs. With this layout, it's easy to scroll until you see a rookie that could be an upgrade for one of your positions, whether that's for a starter or for depth. In post-draft, you get a quick summary of who you drafted, and then you get to sign your rookies to whatever contract amount you want. You then sign free agents after the draft, with a similar screen showing your roster compared to the player pool. It's a very well-designed interface for a franchise mode with lightning-quick menus. Compared to newer, more bloated titles like Madden 24, it's nice to go through an instantaneous menu with no delay. Sometimes I want to hit a bunch of buttons at once, and it actually works, rather than having to click one button, wait for a screen, then click the next button, wait for a screen. I like doing things quickly with fast presses, and I feel like it's something a lot of people gloss over when reviewing these newer games. Throughout the off-season, you'll even receive trade offers from the CPU out of the blue, so unlike every other NFL game during this time, you didn't have to always be the one to initiate a trade. And other teams would even counter-offer during negotiation, which again is just insane for 2000. The multi-season stats track records, playoff wins, and Super Bowl appearances, and wins over the course of the entire franchise. While Madden 01 may have had better graphics, 2K1 clearly had a better franchise mode. It's more responsive, quicker to navigate, and deeper. I came away very impressed here in 2024. When watching a game of CPU versus CPU, it's engaging. The play calling is varied, and the quarterback is not afraid to let it rip. The camera angle also feels pretty authentic. This is a solid game for those who like to take more of a coaching role and let the players play. Another cool feature is Quick Start, throwing you into a game of random teams and weather. And the music in the main menu is incredible to me, although it's just a few tracks. NFL 2K1 isn't a game you hear about that often because it's just not as significant as other 2K titles. NFL 2K was the first, NFL 2K2 was the first on PS2, 2K4 was the first with ESPN presentation, and 2K5 is the greatest NFL video game ever made in my opinion. But NFL 2K1 deserves more attention for taking a great game and making it even better. 2K's first franchise mode couldn't have been any better for the time, and despite not being as technically impressive as Madden 01 on the PS2, 2K1 held its own in numerous other important areas. NFL 2K1 took 2K Sports to the next level, and the development of the series helped push competitors like EA and Sony to do their absolute best work at the time. It feels like sports games were getting better and better until they peaked in the mid-2000s, due to exclusivity contracts and a lack of competition overall. If you want to go back to that golden era, NFL 2K1 is a solid trip down memory lane, back during the 2000 NFL season, when a new millennium was beginning. I loved playing this game for this video, and it seems like the more and more I study these 2K football games, the more I grow to appreciate just how good they were. They were special. Thanks for watching.